away for a long time. I haven't been away for that long, but it seems
No,
like
but it seems like it.
no. I know.
Well, we miss you.
Oh, well, that makes me feel good. I'm glad that
You were missed.
Well, we got a good show tonight. We got a good guest tonight. We've got a good book tonight. And is the wheel ready, Victoria? That's what I want to know.
The Wheel of Fortune is ready.
We got a book bundle.
I call it our Wheel of Fortune.
That's right. And that's going to be exciting for some lucky winner. Somebody is going to be blessed tonight. And that's going to be a good thing. Angie O has already popped in this evening. So we're going to see what's going to be happening with our listeners who are coming on board. I don't know what we're going to do our weekend review as usual. I'm going to go first. Ruth, you'll go second. Victoria's got the bulk of it. You don't mind though, Victoria, do you?
I guess not.
No, you are.
It's not.
You are so happy. I want to be like you when I grow up, just brimming with joy.
My mom said she should have named me Joy. That's what she said.
Really?
Yes.
That's sweet. That's sweet. How's she doing, by the way? Is Mama doing?
That'll be part of my weekend review.
Oh, right. I'm just going to have to wait until you share.
All right, everybody. It's time to roll them.
Okay, Alan. Thank you. Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening from Authors Up. We're here to have a wonderful time this evening.
Yes.
Share with you. Got some good things going on. Hey there, Queen Victoria Henderson.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
How are you today?
I'm fine. Hi, everybody. Hi, Bronze Girls.
Hey. And how are you, Miss Ruth? You good?
I am good. How are you, Andrea?
Look, let me tell you, I am on the mend.
Yes.
We've got some great folks in the house already. Angie O is with us. She's popped in. Francina, how are you? Good to have you in the house this evening. We got Linda Cooks. She is there. And Zerlina Abobi. Good evening to you, Zerlina. Always happy to have you all in the house. And we know we have some other folks who are listening, and sometimes they come in and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they hide out on us. But what if you've been hiding? You'll be sorry. But we're going to go ahead and dive right in and get started this evening. Week in review. Woo!
Praise the Lord.
Talk about a week. And I tell you what, Victoria, that is what it is for me. All praise and glory to God. Glory to God. Because this time last week, I was in the emergency room.
Thank you, God.
Didn't know what was really going on with me. Through EKGs and echocardiograms and MRIs and all manner of other tests that they could give us, just they gave it to me. But I am well. I am healed by His stripes. I am healed. And I am just grateful. I'm grateful that I had people who cared enough about me to say, "You getting up out of here."
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
going to the hospital, and we're going to try to see what is wrong with you. So I am extremely grateful tonight, because this time last week it wasn't looking all that great. I really was having a time, and an unexpected time. But God is,
But
oh
God.
my gosh,
But God.
he's a good God. He is a good God, and I am thankful. I am thankful. And I want to say this. Pay attention, folks. Pay attention to people who love you, and even pay attention to those that don't know you that well. Because when they see some people, other people can see things in you that you can't see for yourself. So when they say, you're not seeming like yourself, you're not looking like yourself, you don't even sound like yourself. Because for me, they're just whole blocks of time from last week that I just don't even remember.
Wow.
But I am so grateful that there are I'm sorry. I had I just had to see that for Antonio. Antonio put up there tardy for the party, but I'm present and accounted for.
And we're glad you're here, Antonio.
Antonio,
Never tardy.
thank you. But I just saw that, and I had to mention it. Thank you, Antonio, so much. But we had, friends,
Amen.
an
Awesome and
awesome
faithful
God
God.
and a
Yes.
faithful
Yes.
God. And I tell you what, I don't take anything for granted, and I am grateful that there are people who cared enough to say, you know what, we can't fool with whatever this is. Let's go find out and see what happened. And God he just kept me. He just
Amen.
kept me, and I am
And he's a
so
keeper.
grateful for that. But I missed you guys. I missed
We
being
missed you
We miss
too, and
you
we're
too.
grateful you're
Yeah.
back.
yeah,
Yes.
I missed you. But
You scared us. Don't do that no more.
I'm not.
Okay.
Ruth, what about you? What was your week like last week? Your week in review. Tell us about it.
Let's see. Well, my husband, you guys know he works in media and he's been covering the basketball. Obviously, I'm not a
Ah,
fan, so
March
I don't even know
Madness.
what to call. Thank you, March Madness. So,
Mhm.
um, he's in New Orleans right now, which I wish I was there, not because of the game or anything, because I totally slept through it last night.
Okay.
But I
Fine.
sure would have found me some restaurant to go to
I was getting ready
because
to say for
there's
the food, right?
no other reason. Oh my gosh. I have been to New Orleans once and I've been wanting to go back. Every time he asks, he's like, "Where do you want to go?" I'm like, "Well, we can put New Orleans,
Back
one,
on
two, or
the map.
three,
On the
tops
map.
that." Yeah. So, yeah, no. So I've been kind of, home alone for the last week, behaving myself, just
Okay.
mostly going to
Okay.
work and doing
Okay.
stuff like that, not eating any New Orleans food or anything like that. So,
And not exploding any eggs, right?
no exploding eggs.
Okay.
So, I've been staying away actually from microwaves and stuff.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
yeah, I've been good. I've been good. I told you I've been good.
Good for
So,
you. Good for you. Good for you. What about you, Miss Victoria? Bring us up to speed. Tell
Well,
us
last
what's
week
going on with you.
was a little bittersweet for me. My mom is 88 years old, and she is moving to Indiana to be with my brother. But she's in Indiana now, but she got sick and was in the hospital for about 2 weeks. And she just seemed like she wasn't doing so good. So I flew out Tuesday to Indiana, and I just got back today, as a matter of fact. So it's been like I said, it's been bittersweet. I'm not going to talk about it too much because then I'll start to cry. Because I can't talk about it much without crying because I'm gonna miss my mom.
mhm.
But we all agree that this is a better thing for her to be in Indiana close to my brother. And but I will miss having hands-on, care of my mom. And it was my absolute honor and privilege to assist her this past week. And when she moved, I moved. And she'd get up in the night, to go to the restroom. I was just right there with her. And I was lotioning her legs the other night after a shower. And she said, "Look at this. You you're lotioning me down, and you're so tender and gentle. And she said, I remember giving you your baths, and you would just lay
Uh-huh.
there, let me lotion you. And I told you I'm not crying tonight. I'm not doing it.
Okay.
But it was such a sweet and tender moment. And so while I am hurting, emotionally,
Yeah.
I thank God. I have to thank God for giving me these moments that were precious with my mom this past week. And I wouldn't have traded it for anything. So I'm just grateful. I'm grateful. We hugged and kissed, and I kissed her face and held her face in my hands before I left. And I just saw I love. And she said, I love you, girl. And I said, I love you too, Mom. So, it's just a blessing. It's a blessing indeed to be able to have those moments with her. So that was
Good.
my last week.
Good. Zerlina said mothers are so precious.
Just precious. She didn't answer me when I called though, but that's okay. That's a whole other story.
Good evening to you there, Miss Leah Fornett. Good to
Yeah.
have you on the line tonight.
Leah, you joined just in time. We've been talking about our blessing book bundle. What we calling it, right? Blessing book bundle.
Well, that's
Okay.
what you said, so I guess that's what we
Okay.
call it now.
Well, we decided that we are going to be giving away 5 books and a nice mug. Show the mug, Ruth. Nice authors up mug. What does it say on the back?
A form for authors by authors.
All right. So you get this exclusive authors up mug. I don't even think I have one yet. But anyway,
No, they would be the first one.
exactly.
That's right.
Along with 5 books, and we took the names of those that we had that were that made comments on our show via Facebook for the past couple of weeks, and we got your names. Look! You can't read everybody's name, but everybody's name is in what I call the Wheel of Fortune. So I'm going to spin the wheel right now. So it says click to spin. So I've got everybody in there. And so you'll be able to see it's not Victoria picking it, it's the wheel. I say it says click to spin. Okay, here we go. Woohoo! Look. Woohoo!
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
And
Who is that?
Wait,
somebody, Carol.
Dr.
Dr.
Vivian
Vivian
Carroll.
Carroll. All
Yay,
right.
Queen. Woohoo! Everybody send us
Congratulations.
say some congratulations to Dr. Vivian Carroll. We will notify if she's not on the line tonight. We will contact you and let you know how we can get those books to you. Yay!
Hey.
So that feels good. We feel good to be able to bless somebody else. You will have 5 books coming in our wonderful mug, Dr. Vivian Carroll. Woohoo! I see those hand claps. Yeah.
And we are going to do this quarterly, right?
That is correct, yes.
Quarterly. So
if you
this was
didn't
for
have
the
a
first
chance
quarter.
this time,
January,
stick
February, March.
around. You will have another opportunity. So we are grateful for that. And
Yes.
so that brings us to
Tonight's
tears and hearts and all drum rolls and all of that.
We are very excited for our author this week. Let me tell you a little bit about Cynthia Sanders. Cynthia is a 25-year-old woman and a first-time book author of the children's book, Mia, The Monster of Fear, and The Fairy of Courage. She's originally from Stockton, California, but currently lives in Las Vegas, Nevada, where she's been for the past 8 years. She says she always had a passion for writing since the age of 12 and began writing poems until she found her drive in writing teen drama stories. She says that she just wanted to promote her first published book ever, and it's her first children's book at that. Cynthia never thought of writing one, but after she overcame a bout of sickness, she said she started to doubt herself and not believe in herself. So she felt that a children's book would be more relatable and realistic to children feeling that same way and to help parents understand their children better. Cynthia is an avid reader, but has always loved to write since she was in middle school. She went to an accredited school named Milan Institute and studied to be a pharmacy technician. Cynthia says she's been in a relationship for 5 years and is just now getting back into her writing. Well, we know you're going to enjoy this book tonight. So, after a short break, we're going to bring you back and you will get to meet our fabulous author, Cynthia Sanders.
Yes.
All right. Welcome, Cynthia.
Hi. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. We are happy, happy, happy to have you. So,
Yes, indeed.
all right. Well, let's start with your book. Tell us about it.
So, my book is based off of fear, and this was because of the whole pandemic, situation. A lot of people have fear, not just kids but adults.
Mhm.
But a lot of kids were very, afraid to go back to school and things of that nature. And, I had a lot of fears myself. I did get diagnosed with the COVID last year. So it
Mhm.
was scary. And I had to quarantine in my brother's room at the time. So I was like, oh my God, like, I can't believe I have this. Like, how did I get it? I stayed away from people. Like, I don't
Right.
go nowhere. I'm a homebody.
Right.
When I do go somewhere, it's to get, my nails done or whatever. But my book is about a monster telling this little girl that, she's not smart enough and that she's not good enough. And so she starts to doubt herself. And I have been around a lot of children that have doubt themselves. And I'm sitting here like, wow, they're so young. Like, how
Mhm.
can they think like that? Like you guys are kids, supposed to have fun. But there have been kids that do doubt themselves, that have a lot of fear. So
Mhm.
I just came up with the fairy, named it Courage, and she comes in her dreams and Mia's dreams, and she tells her that she is, good enough, and that, she is smart enough. She is like the other kids. She's different in her own way.
Mhm.
So it's like her fairy godmother. So
Nice.
that was basically it.
Mhm.
Awesome. I have to say, what I really enjoyed about the book, besides the illustrations, I know that Andrea and Victoria will talk about that, um, was just how you simplified the message. It reminded me a lot of how even Pixar, they take one point and it's just like, let's break it down so people can understand.
Right.
And that is, it's like you said, it's not just adults, not just kids. This is something we all deal with, and just how you took that and just simplified it just made the story so much better, I thought. So,
Yeah.
um,
Thanks.
what part of writing for kids? So you said this is your first children's book. So
Yes.
you've written other genres. What part did you find challenging? Was it easier? How did you find that process?
With the children book, it was a little bit shorter, so it was a little bit easier to write,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't really have to put a lot of big words in there. There are
Yeah.
smart kids out there that know how to, pronunciate words and things like that, but I didn't have
Mm-hmm.
to put a lot of big words. In like a romance book or a mystery or thriller book, you got to put some words in there that you can't even pronounce yourself. So, but the children's book was easy to write. The
Uh-huh.
illustration part was, oh my gosh, how I wanted the characters to look, how I described it. It was a lot. I would say the illustration part it was fun. It's fun to see and like, oh, that's cute. Like, oh, I like the way the fairy looks or the monster looks.
Uh-huh.
I did change the monster a couple times. I was like, I don't like that monster. So there were things I didn't like and did like. So I would say the illustration process, the publishing process was hard. I didn't know how to publish at all. on Amazon KDP. So I went on Fiverr and I found a publisher. And so, it's kind of difficult because you can't see them. You can't talk to
Right.
them like how we're talking now. So it's kind of difficult. You don't know if they're going to do their job. You're paying them, a certain amount of money. So I was like, oh my gosh. And at the time, I was like, not really financially, there, but I had enough to get this book done. I really wanted to put it out.
Right.
So I can get this message across.
Mhm.
And so I would say just the illustration and publishing part was the hard part. The writing part was easy.
Okay. Okay, and I'm glad you shared that because I mean, a lot of there are usually a couple camps when it comes to writing and publishing. Those are the ones that go, "Oh, this is easy, everything will get it done." And then there's the other one who's like, "Well, it's impossible. I won't do it." But then there's the middle of the road, and it's just like there are challenges along the way.
Yeah.
But if you can meet those challenges, you'll have a great outcome. And I think I really truly believe that you have that. So.
Mhm.
Thank
I
you.
saw you have quite a number of reviews on Amazon. So how's the
Yeah.
reception been?
Yes. Well, I haven't really been as active as recent, but
Mhm.
when I did put it out, I did go on Facebook. I ran into a lot of people that say, hey, join my group or hey, join this group. So the Facebook groups really helped me get to that rating. So I
Mhm.
have to give credit when credit's due. I want to just sit here like, yeah, it just got there. Like, no, I
No.
had people review my book and I reviewed their book. So it was like we were helping each other.
Mhm.
So I really appreciate that group that I was in, appreciate all the other, up and coming authors and people who have been authors for quite some time also helped me along the way, told me about copyright and editing and
Mhm.
everything. So some stuff that I didn't even know. And I have writers in my family and I didn't even know that until my mom said something. I was like, Mom, I wrote as a kid. You just now told me. It's my book is already out. But I have writers in my family. So I could have like really reached out to them, but it was never too late. They still helped me. They still told me,
Right.
hey, this is what needed to be done. Your next book, this is what you should do next time. So
Uh-huh.
I was like, okay, thank you. What comes with the territory is you're going to get the naysayers, the bad
Mhm.
reviews, the good reviews, and it's always like that. You're going to get negative energy, you're going to get positive energy. So I'm pretty used to it before I became an author. So,
Mhm.
No.
but yeah.
So
Oh,
is there a sequel coming up
um, it's,
or a
I will be
series?
honest, I don't want to lie. I currently have not. I just been working in my own
Mhm.
little world. I
Yeah.
am still, it's still in the back of my mind. Like I do want to make it
Okay.
a series, but
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
it's not
Oh, that'd be
really in the
nice.
works as of now. I haven't even wrote a part. I have it, but it's not even like completely done. Like it's like half a page. It's like the table of contents, and that's it. And
That's
that's about it. In the preface, that's it. I was like, I don't know what else, and so
that's all
that's
right.
pretty much it. But yes, it is going to be a series, a sequel. I do
Mhm.
want to make it a series, and
How
add other features and maybe talk about like more. I don't know if I'll make it like a fear and courage thing, but maybe
Mhm.
like education or something along the way.
Mhm.
You know, to the
Uh,
first book as well. Relate to it in a sense.
how long did it take you to write Mia and the Monster Courage and the Fairy of sorry, the Monster of Fear and the Fairy of Courage?
It didn't take me long to write it. When I wrote it, I was still sick at the
Okay.
time,
Mm.
but I was told to, with the virus, I was told to move around because
Mhm.
when I laid there, I was like, oh my God, when you lay there, you start thinking crazy things.
Whew.
And so I had lost family members prior,
Mhm.
to that. Oh my God, my next. So when I'm laying there, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. So
Mhm.
I had to get up
Yeah.
and do something. And I knew writing was something that I love to do. Reading. I also love
Right.
to read other, work people's works as well. So that got me going. So it didn't take me long to write, maybe like I would say a couple weeks or so, 2 or 3 weeks
Okay.
to finish it. But
Mhm.
the illustration process took like three
Much
months
longer. Yeah. Yeah.
trying to find someone and everything. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to hand you over to Andrea. Your
Okay.
turn.
I wanted to know because I was curious about the illustration. That seems to be one of the greatest challenges of most of the writers that we have. And I think particularly when it comes to children's books, there's just something special about when you're writing for children and wanting those illustrations to be engaging and wanting them to tell their own story as well. But where did you find this illustrator? What did had you seen their work in another book, or were you reaching out through Fiverr, or where did you find this illustrator?
So that's a really good question. I found the illustrator on Fiverr. I actually went to an illustrator before him, but the communication wasn't quite there. So I was like, I need to go to someone else that's going to deliver what I wanted.
Mhm.
Mhm,
So I found this illustrator also on Fiverr,
mhm.
and I stayed with him because I liked his work. And you can see their work before you even, decide to inbox them and pay them. And they show you their
Mm,
work, like their samples. And the illustrator, my bad, the illustrator that did my illustrations also illustrated for another young girl who I speak to. I think it's called the Book of Self Love or something like that.
Hmm.
mm,
And she's also a good author. She's like 14 or 15 years old. He also
Oh,
illustrated her book, and she has one for teen girls and one for children. And
Mhm.
so when he showed me that, I was like, wait, I know these illustrators. I know this Arthur. So so it was cool to see that. And then I also talked to her. So it was also cool. I was like, okay, so it's
right.
connected. So I trusted, his process. I trusted his work and everything.
Mhm.
And he communicated. And there was like a few bumps along the way, but I guess that comes with the territory. I wasn't too sure, I was new to it. And like
mhm,
I said, I really wanted the book out. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stick with you. I'm not gonna keep, bouncing to different illustrators. It's too much.
Hmm. Hmm.
So but yeah, I found him on Fiverr. So he was awesome.
mhm. It certainly was. I enjoyed looking at the illustrations that you have there. All of them are really nice, but your two main little characters of Fear and Courage are especially
Thank you.
interesting little people. I'll call them
Yeah.
little people sitting on
Thank
the
you.
shoulder. But yeah, I really did enjoy that. What do you think is the main piece? I know we said we talked about fear and we talked about courage, but when you wrap it all up and you wrap it up in this book, how do you want the reader to approach it? Because I think that while it's billed as a children's book, I think it is good lessons there for adults as well, in these two issues that are so prevalent with us and so in such an important part of our lives. Because I don't know of anybody who has not in some way, shape, or form had to deal with fear, and in some way, shape, or form had to confront it and gain the courage that they needed to get past it. So, in writing that, kind of what did you ultimately see this doing? What was it that you wanted to have the book do and have those words speak?
That's a really good question. I was sitting there processing my answer. Like, what should I say to that? um, well, I did want it, even though it's a children's book, yes, I wanted to touch children, but I wanted to touch all people, like you said, adults as well, because we all deal with fear. When we were kids, we dealt with it. And even as we get older, it doesn't
Mhm,
change until we confront it and face it. I just wanted it to get out there and people, help their kids along the way dealing with fear. Some parents don't know how to, you know, help their children with
Mhm.
certain fears, so they go to other people that, oh, can you help my child? So, I want the parents to be like, okay, let me read this, and maybe I should be the one to show my kid, hey, you can fight this and you can beat this demon, whatever is bothering you, whether at school, at home, wherever you go.
mhm,
I also, and teenagers as well. Teenagers, kids have older siblings and stuff like that. I'm the oldest out of my youngest two, and they have their fears, and I was always there to be like, it's okay, like the mama bear, second, mother to them at
Mhm.
times.
Mhm.
So I just wanted it to like really, bring out the message that was in the book. Just, help each other, because this world we don't help each other enough. So it's like a
Mhm.
lot of craziness going on out here. And I was just
Mhm.
hoping that it would just bring people together. Young to old, black to white,
Yeah.
we can
Mhm.
get over this fear of this pandemic, taking over. We can be together. We can
Yes.
fight this together. And so far, I think we did a good job.
I think you did too. I think you did too. I did want to ask you though, in terms of the writing process for you, there are some people that start with an outline, and everybody has kind of a different process that they go through when they are writing. And I noticed that you said something. We were talking about the possibility of a sequel, and you were saying something about the chapters. You were mentioning the chapters. For this particular work, did you have an outline? Did you set about to say, I'm going to have a chapter about fear, and I'm going to break it down this way, and then I'm going to have these chapters about courage and break it down this way? Or did you just kind of look at your heroine, if I can call her that, and just kind of let her begin to tell a story? How did you go about it?
Since it was my first time writing a children's book, I did do some research. I'm like, how do I write a children's book? I mean, shouldn't this be, easy? I know how to write teen drama stuff, but shouldn't a children's book be easy? So it was kind of hard. I was like, I don't know how I should do it. So I just went along with like, okay, I'm gonna start with fear, because that's gonna be first, and then I'm gonna show how to beat fear, throw
Mhm.
him away, tell him no. And then I did courage as like the last outline of the story. So
Okay.
that's how I mostly did. I just thought of fear first. That
Hmm.
was like actually the main thing that got me to write the book was fear. And
Hmm.
then courage just came along the way as my writing, process.
Hmm. Hmm. And that fear was born out of what you were dealing with yourself in terms of COVID. Gotcha.
Yes, ma'am.
I got you. I got you. Well, you certainly done a wonderful job on your first project, and
Thank
I really enjoyed it, and I especially we're always drawn to the illustrations, and that always has a special place for us, and I don't know why I haven't written anything yet that needed to be illustrated, but I could. You never know. But I think that you picked the right illustrator, certainly, for
thank
your
you.
book, because I think that the adaptation of it is just really super, and I'm really hoping for much success for you in
Thank
this.
you. I appreciate it.
And I'm going to turn you over to Victoria, because I know she has 3 words that she wants to say to you that
Yes, I do want to say,
authors.
we
Go
always say, I always tell our listeners, get the book, get the book, get the book. Do you have a copy of it right near you?
No,
No.
I do
Okay.
not. So I was unprepared today.
That's all right. You don't.
ahead.
That's okay.
No.
That is
No.
okay. Well, I like to ask the authors if I don't have a copy to show the book, because the book is beautiful. You're illustrator and you work that thing out.
Yes. I
And
would
it is.
say, even though I enjoy writing, I didn't even pay attention to what I wrote. I was like, wow, the illustrations are nice. I was more like a kid when I got my book. I was like, I like the
Yes,
illustrations.
because it perfectly, all the pictures, it really tell what your story is talking about each way along the way. And I found myself just kind of flipping through. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Mia
I
is
love the
just as
colors.
cute as she can be. As a cute little girl. And
Yes.
the little demon, the monster of fear,
Yes.
and the fairy, it just all came together, and we just couldn't be more happier. Congratulations on
Thank
being a
you.
first time author.
Yes.
Welcome to the club. 'Cause
Yes.
I know how that feels. So
It's
it's
a
just an
lot.
awesome feeling, and we're just happy to have you and have you able to talk about your book. as we always say here on Authors Up, like no one can tell the story like the author can. We could come and show your book, right? But everybody can't tell the background like you just did. So we just so happy to have you here. And I would just wanted to ask you about your other writing that we mentioned in your bio that you have written a teen drama things series. Are you going to be publishing some of that? Because I have some teens who like drama.
So to tell the truth, to be honest, the
Come
teen
on, be
drama
honest.
stuff that I wrote, I was like in middle school. I was really young writing stuff like
Okay.
that. So I really didn't share it with my family, but I had nosy younger siblings. I would go on my stuff and be like, look what she wrote, look what she wrote. And so, I'm writing about couples, kissing and stuff and relationship. What did I know about
Well,
that? I
you
didn't
were
even have
scandalous. You were scandalous.
Yeah. So those are like really old stories.
Okay.
And it's kind of like a sad story behind it. So I don't want to mention it and throw off the vibe.
All
It's
right.
a pilot interview, but
Yes, that's fine.
I threw them away and I
Okay.
don't have those stories anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, I was told by a parent, one of my parents didn't like what I was writing.
Okay.
So,
Understood.
yeah.
I
I
understand.
don't want to go deep into it. But I still remember the stories. I still remember the characters even to this day. I even wrote them down. I remember all the characters, their kids, their husbands, where they went to school. Like they went from high school to college and then they were married with kids. I had notebooks, 3 notebooks filled up with the same story. I never had a title for it. Never. I was just writing.
Yeah.
Where the names came from,
I
where the
would,
storyline came from.
Go
But
get it, Andrew. Get her. Go ahead.
well, I just wanted to to say to her that that's not unusual.
Yeah.
No,
The
I did that.
circumstances may have been different that caused you to throw work away, but I did the same thing. I mean, I wrote poetry for years and I threw it away. There's so much work that I think about now that I threw it away because I thought nobody wants to read this.
Right.
Nobody's gonna ever get
Right.
this, and I'm sharing my soul here, and nobody's gonna care, and they're gonna stomp all over my little poem. So no, I'm not gonna show them to anybody, and I'm gonna throw them away. And I think the first thing that Ruth wrote was a similar experience, didn't you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was writing in middle school, and I was a fan of those. I don't know if you remember the Sweet Valley High books. It might be
Yes.
okay. So, and it was nothing but teenage melodrama. So I was reading that, and I was writing it, and I was hiding it in my notebook. So, like when I was in class, you turn the sheet, and there it is, and turn the sheet back. So. I I wrote my first book when I was, what, 15 or 16, and I threw it away because I was sure nobody would want to read that. And I probably would be embarrassed today if somebody did read it. But I think, honestly, because it's a process, I think it just confirms that you were always meant to be a writer.
That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's
I
right.
always hate my talent. And like I said, I don't want to make this interview negative, but my dad was just
No.
my parent, he was not for my dad was not for what I was writing. He was like, why are you
Right.
writing stuff like this
Oh,
about
yeah.
kissing relationship? You're only like 11 and 12, like you're only around those ages. So why are you writing about this?
Mm-mm,
I don't know about
mm-mm.
having a boyfriend or anything. So, and I listened to my parent. You have to listen to your parents,
Yeah.
I lived under his roof. So he told me to throw him away. I did fight him at once, not physically, but I was like, no, like this is my work. I'm not throwing it
Yes.
away. And I kept it there. He called it junk. And I was like, oh, okay. That's what he
Oh.
considered it. And the second time he approached me, he said, throw it away. And I did. And once it went in that trash can and shredded, I was like, oh my God. I cried for days. And I was like, well, I guess.
But
Well,
you
I've
do
got
know.
three words to say, and one of them is more, better, and greater.
Mhm.
Come on.
So
Mhm.
those three things, those stories, those early things that you wrote may have been thrown away, but when God has a plan, and I'm not
Yes.
anything to defy your parents by any means,
Mhm.
but when there is a plan that he has, there's always more. It's
Mhm.
always better. And there's always greater.
And
Yeah.
it's in you. It
Never
is
heard of
in you. God has gifted you with
Thank
the
you.
ability to write
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
ability to tell stories that only you can tell. And
Yep.
so we speak that into you tonight, that
Thank
um,
you. I appreciate
you
it.
got to use your gift, in whatever way God has for you to do. There's still stories inside of you to tell.
Yeah.
So, and it's no accident that you're here with us tonight. We three believe in you. So
Thank you.
you can do it. You can do it.
Thank
You can
you.
do it.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I appreciate it.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Don't, I could say so much, but I'm not going to. I think that's enough. But
I'm very sensitive and emotional, so the more you keep saying, the tears are gonna start coming. But
okay, and then, you
Okay,
know what?
be
And
joining you in a
whole
minute.
interview.
I'm going to say I actually feel them with you because I feel your heart,
Mhm.
So tell our listeners where they can find your book and how they could get in touch with you. Are you on social media?
Yes, I am. I'm on Facebook a lot. I'm not really on Instagram a lot, but I do
Okay.
have an Instagram. It's
Mhm.
passionate_Aries 330.
Okay.
And I have a Facebook, it's just my first and last name. And I also have a Twitter. I just started back on Twitter. So I'm not really
That's
active
all
on
right.
there.
Some of us are joining you too.
Yeah.
Get-
Yeah. So just Facebook and Instagram, you can reach me.
Oh, good.
And you can get my book off of Amazon, Speak Up Sis Bookshelf, and other platforms as well.
Awesome.
Very
Awesome.
good.
Well, congratulations again. And
Thank you.
listeners and viewers, get the book.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Well, this has been lovely, lovely, lovely. I hope that all of our listeners have enjoyed tuning in tonight, having an opportunity to meet Cynthia Sanders and hear about her book and her writing journey. Is there anything? Is there any advice or anything that you want to leave with our listeners, Cynthia, in terms of about writing or just anything at all that would be an encouragement or an inspiration to somebody else out there that is looking to do what you have done, which is to write your own book and get it out there? And if you don't, that's fine. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but if you do, here you go.
I was like, wow, she's really going in on this interview today. I'm not prepared. It's coming in tough. Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, I wasn't prepared for advice. So I don't have any. I will say for people who are trying to get into the writing world, trying to become an author, and they're afraid to put out their manuscript or their work because they're afraid they're going to be judged. They're afraid somebody's going to say something negative or not like it. They're afraid of not making any income. Because I see that's the issue in most, cases when I get on Facebook. It's always an income problem. I would just say, just do it.
There
Just put
you
it
go.
out there.
Mhm.
Because at first I was afraid too. I was like, no, I'm not gonna put this book out there.
Mhm.
And so at first I kept it to myself. I was like, nope.
Mm.
But then I told my boyfriend about it, and he was like, you should put it out there. It's a great story. It has a great message behind it.
Yeah.
And then I told my mom and my brother and sister. So I was like, okay, I'll put it out there.
Mhm.
And so I did, and it did get, good and bad. You're gonna get that. You're gonna get people who's not gonna like your work, and you're gonna get some who will relate to your work and like it. So
Mhm.
I would just say, just go ahead, go for it. Just make sure you do. It doesn't have to be perfect, but definitely editing is a big thing.
Mhm.
If you're gonna do a children's book, have a really good description of how you want your characters to look and be. Be communicative with your illustrator. So yeah, editing, publishing, is those are the two main ones. And copyright your work. Definitely get it
Right.
Yeah.
copyrighted.
Right.
Yep.
Mhm.
Good
And
advice.
you thought you didn't have any advice to give.
Uh-huh.
Girl, stop.
That just came from, I don't know where it came from. Out of it.
Well, we certainly appreciate you being
Thank
here,
you so much for having me.
Ruth and Victoria, either of you have anything in closing to share or to say tonight?
Just my usual. So if you want to contact us, let us know if you like the show, you like the show, you want to be a guest on the show, just email us at authorsup@gmail.com.
All
Amen.
right. And me, congratulations again to Cynthia. And she has, showed us a valuable lesson tonight. And, I'm just going to leave it like, just love your people. Love those in your circle. Just show love, because we just never know what's going to happen. And that, from my experience this past week with Mom, just cherish the time that you spend with your loved ones. And also congratulations again to Dr. Vivian Carroll for winning our Blessing Book Library. And I hope everyone has a great week.
Well, that's good enough for me. I don't need to say anything else. The only thing I need to say is come back next week, 7 p.m. right here at Authors Up. We've got some more good things to share with you, and we are glad that you came tonight, and we're expecting you to come back next week. Don't disappoint us, because it's not good when you disappoint us. I got you. All right.
Yes.
So that's it for us for tonight. Good night, everybody. And like I said, join us again next week, Sunday evening at 7 p.m. for Authors Up. Good night, everybody.
Good
Night,
night.
Promise Girls.